Stool-Mutt, Book 1, Chapter 12, Rebirth. The vascular hand bursted from the rebel, sending rocks flying. "What the?" Buttman muttered. Stool-Mutt emerged from the rebel with a new form. He was now 7'5" and only a half a foot shorter than Buttman, and muscular, like he's been lifting weights since birth. "I feel brand new!" Stool-Mutt yelled as he broke through the rubble until he noticed his new body. "What happened to me? Why am I so ripped?" "I mean, you did ask for a new form, did you not?" Stool-Mutt asked, rhetorically, brushing concrete dust from his chest. Before Buttman could react, a fist collided with his stomach, sending green blood shooting out from his mouth. Buttman fell back a bit, but got his composure and stood back up tall. "Now, this is what I'm talking about," Buttman yelled, reaching his arms out to his sides. As he reached his arms out to his sides, thousands of robots flew from the sky and perched behind him. Those are the same type of robot that attacked Jaquavius and me in the car. Stool-Mutt thought. "Witness my butt-bots," Buttman yelled as the hundreds of flying robots swirled around him. Buttman, I thought they were called BBAs," Stool-Mutt asked. "Well, you see, I tried to Google BBA to make sure I wasn't infringing on copyright, but it autocorrected to, Buttman stumbled over his words. "Never mind that. Butt-bots, get him!" Buttman yelled, throwing one of his arms forward, pointing at Stool-Mutt. Stool-Mutt watched as hundreds of butt-bots with tiny arms started flying towards him. "How am I going to defeat all of those? I need to crush them or something." Just then, Stool-Mutt had an idea. Stool-Mutt ran as the butt-bots chased him. He ran till he reached the bottom of Big Ben, then began to scale the clock tower. He leaped higher and higher, grabbing onto ledges until he reached the very top. "Let's hope their AI is dumb," he thought as he stood on top of Big Ben and hundreds of robots swirled around him. Stool-Mutt leaped from the top of the building, diving down headfirst towards the concrete. The robots followed him as he hit the concrete. He rolled to safety, escaping with only a bit of road burn. He watched as all the robots failed to stop and slammed against the concrete. "Damn AI. Guess I'll have to finish you myself," Buttman said, watching all his creations break against the ground. Buttman raced towards Stool-Mutt, punching him in the jaw, sending him stumbling back a foot, but Stool-Mutt quickly retaliated with another blow to the stomach. Stool-Mutt and Buttman stood there as Buttman punched Stool-Mutt in the chest and grabbed his left arm, throwing him against the lamppost, knocking it over. Stool-Mutt stood up, grabbing the lamppost, swinging it around like a baseball bat. He ran up to Buttman and hit him across the head with the loud, metallic clang as green blood shot from his nose. As Stool-Mutt took another swing, Buttman caught it and swung it back, slamming Stool-Mutt against a building. Stool-Mutt dashed up to Buttman and sent a barrage of blows to Buttman, knocking him back and forcing him to fall to a knee. Stool-Mutt ran up, grabbing his head, slamming it into his knee. Blood seeped from Buttman's face, but Buttman grabbed Stool-Mutt's leg, flipped him onto his back, and began to punch Stool-Mutt over and over, driving him into the pavement. Stool-Mutt began to zone out as Buttman pounded him into the ground. "How am I going to beat him? He's too strong. Wait a minute. That paper, didn't it say something?" Stool-Mutt thought as Buttman lifted him up and punched him, sending him flying into a car. "Didn't it say something about ridding the blood from the serum?" "Yes." "Didn't it say something about ridding the blood of the serum?" "Yes, it did. All I have to do is damage him enough to get that green shit out of his blood. And I'll win." Stool-Mutt stood up from the broken car behind him and jumped up as high as he could. He began to drop down, clenching his fists together, falling directly on top of Buttman. He clenched his fist, slammed onto the top of Buttman's head, slamming him down into the concrete. Stool-Mutt began to kick his head into the street repeatedly as he tried to get up, and green blood flooded his face. Buttman reached up and grabbed Stool-Mutt's foot, throwing him up into the air and jumping after him. Buttman punched him, and Stool-Mutt's breath immediately left his body as the fist collided with his chest. Stool-Mutt flew through the building and landed in an old lady's apartment. "Who's there?" the old lady screamed. "You wouldn't hurt a blind old lady, would you?" "Ma'am, you need to get out of here. There's a supervillain on the—" Stool-Mutt was cut off by Buttman, dragging him by his feet through the window. Buttman gripped Stool-Mutt's feet and swung him around, sending him flying down the street. Stool-Mutt skidded across the concrete, leaving it build behind him like sliding your foot through the sand. He was flung right back to the very place he was trying to escape. There sat Jaquavius, passed out with blood on his shirt, and his parents lying on the concrete as Buttman approached him. He knew one thing. I'm gonna die. As Buttman approached him, wiping blood from his face, a loud noise was made from his side. Stool-Mutt looked over to a weird circular glowing object hovering beside him. Is that a portal? Just then, a white shoe stepped through.